Hello everyone, welcome to Shine Projects. I am Sindhu and today we are going to discuss about the topic inflation. And who is talking about it? It's none other than the founder and managing director of Shine Projects, Mr. Sri Harsha. So Harsha, today we are discussing about inflation. Well, we all know that prices going upwards every year on year is called inflation. So could you please throw some light on inflation for the benefit of our viewers today?
My dear friends, hello and a hearty welcome to our YouTube channel, and thanks a lot Sindhu for such a wonderful introduction. And today's topic, as I'm given to understand, is about the inflation. So let's discuss about the inflation. Let's assume that you went to a shopkeeper with rupees 100 on today's date, okay? And you were able to purchase some items from the shopkeeper. Next year, same time, okay, if you go to the same shopkeeper and if you try to purchase the same set of items that you have purchased today, it will be 105 rupees. It will not cost you 100 rupees. It would cost you 105 rupees because the Indian inflation is about 5%. Very simple concept. So inflation in different countries is different. Inflation does not work in the same way in all the countries. As we go along, we will understand why that inflation is different in different countries. But you have to understand that Indian inflation on an average is about 5%, and what it means is that the goods and services are going to get costlier by 5% year on year in India location. Now let's look at this slide to understand the inflation rates in various countries that are there. So what am I typing in Google? I am typing inflation rates in various countries, and look at this. These are the inflation rates of various countries, and I'm scrolling down. Oh my god, look at this. The inflation rate in Argentina is 38.5%, and what it means is that if you go to a shopkeeper in Argentina today and if you spend $100 to purchase certain goods, okay, and next year same time if you're going to the same shopkeeper to purchase the same set of items, it would cost you 138.5 whatever their currency is. All right, so this is inflation, and inflation is a very simple concept.
Oh, it's a nice learning. Different countries have different inflation rates, and it's so surprising to see that a few countries are struggling with hyperinflation. So could you please help us understand as to what actually causes inflation?
Alright, so now you want to understand why inflation occurs. Now this is going to get really interesting. Alright, so inflation occurs due to fiscal deficit. Now what is fiscal deficit? Fiscal deficit is the difference between how much a government earns versus how much it spends in a given financial year. So if you look at it in that perspective, Indian government's fiscal deficit was about 10 lakh crore rupees when you look at the last year's statistics. So how much the Indian government has earned versus how much it has spent. If you subtract both of them, the gap was 10 lakh crore rupees. So the earnings minus spendings, okay, is 10 lakh crore rupees for India. Now let's understand how the Indian government earns any money and how does it spend any money. Let's look at this slide to understand the details about how Indian government is earning the money and how it is spending the money. Now let's assume that I am a working professional and my monthly salary is 1 lakh rupees. Let's also assume that my expenditure is 1,10,000 rupees. So how to finance the 10,000 rupees deficit, because my earnings is less than my spendings. 1 month I will take it from my friends, another month I might take it from my relatives, 1 month I will take a bank loan, another month I will swipe my credit card. But will I be able to sustain this deficit scenario over a longer period of time? But how are the countries, okay, able to survive this fiscal deficit from the last 100 years? In the same way, even in India, ever since we have attained independence, we are always in fiscal deficit. There was no such year in which we were in fiscal surplus. So let's understand via this chart as to how Indian government is able to finance the fiscal deficit. So if you are observing this chart properly, alright, 66% or more is coming from the market related borrowings. Now from this market related borrowings, there are various instruments from which government of India is able to borrow money, but the significant instrument is the government bond or a treasury bond. So when a company issues bonds, everybody knows it's called corporate bonds. Now, when government issues bonds, they're called government bonds or treasury bonds. Now, how much is the rate of interest? When Indian government issues bonds, on an average, it is about 5% per annum. Now, because government is giving such an attractive rate of interest on the government bonds or treasury bonds, which has zero risk, okay? So let's understand who are the participants who are purchasing those government bonds whenever government is issuing it. Let's look at this slide to be able to understand the participants who are purchasing the government bonds or treasury bonds. Alright, now let's understand why am I explaining all these things and where is the inflation coming from. Okay, so no matter how many bonds that government of India is issuing to be able to conquer the fiscal deficit, it is not completely able to take care of the fiscal, because fiscal deficit is huge. It is 10 lakh crore rupees. Okay, so there are certain government bonds or treasury bonds which are left unsold. So RBI comes into rescue here. Who comes into rescue? Reserve Bank of India, okay, who's the regulator of banks in India, comes to rescue the government of India. Okay, and how does RBI rescue the government of India? Is by purchasing the bonds that are left out unsold. Government of India is trying to sell bonds to so many such participants, they all say. So those bonds that are unsold, RBI comes into existence and it tries to purchase those government bonds or treasury bonds that are not sold. So in this way, RBI utilizes its power of printing money. RBI prints fresh money into existence, how much ever money that is required to be able to purchase those bonds that government of India is unable to sell to various participants. Okay, and RBI finances with the freshly printed money. RBI purchases all those government bonds and treasury bonds and gives the money to the government of India. The government of India will not keep the money with it. Okay, they will circulate this money into the market. Now let's assume some of them are central government employees, police, army, navy, air force, various government projects, okay, government schools, government hospitals. Now government circulates all that money which comes freshly printed from the RBI into the economy. Alright. So when money was scarce, it had a lot of value. When the scarcity is getting lost because of much more money being added into the existence, the value of money gets depreciated with time. Okay, now this is not the case only with India, all the countries. Alright, so all the countries which are irresponsibly printing, you would have observed in the beginning that I have shown inflation chart where various countries' inflation I have displayed, but those countries which are printing irresponsibly will have hyperinflation. Hyperinflation means that they are not able to manage their inflation. Inflation has skyrocketed within their countries because excessive money printing took place. Alright, in that sense we are responsible because our Indian inflation is about 5%, which means that the freshly printed money that is coming into existence via this channel is eating away the existing value of money and depreciating the money. So when you went to that shopkeeper, the shopkeeper did not tell you that the items got costly. The shopkeeper, in a sense, what he would have told you was that the value of that 100 rupees you gave got depreciated. Now it is not 100 rupees, the value of 100 rupees has depreciated. So you have to give me 105 rupees. That 5% is called inflation. I hope you have understood the inflation concept, Sindhu.
Okay, so inflation is about the value of money falling down due to freshly printed money coming into existence from time to time. And I also have understood that prices going up is a consequence of it. Thank you, Sri Harsha, for your valuable insights. Alright folks, that's it for today's episode. Hope you liked it. See you in the next episode with another exciting topic. Do check our description box for various links used in today's episode. Also give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you and Jai Hind.